It was a really interesting experience because I had never really had a co-author before. And when we first started, I really thought that I knew everything because I'd been doing it for 20-something years and Sammy hadn't. And we would argue about things. For example, in Between the Lines, there's a fairy tale that Prince Oliver's embedded in, and you see snippets of it throughout the book. And when we wrote this, Sammy really wanted the fairy tale to be very dark and gothic, like the Brothers Grimm, and I wanted it to be lighthearted and funny, like Shrek. And she said, no, it's really important that it's intense because then we see the stakes for Oliver and why he needs to get out of this. And I thought, yeah, okay, that's a really good answer, but I'm still right. So I figured we'd write it the way she wanted to write it, and then when she was at school, I was going to go back and change it without her knowing. And if you read Between the Lines, you know that the fairy tale segments are actually very dark and gothic, and that's because she was dead on right. And it was sort of a learning process for me to understand that even if she did not have the experience that I had writing, her gut instincts were so strong, I had to treat her as a co-author and not as an intern, basically. Do you want to talk about how we did it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so how we wrote together is actually pretty unique for co-authors. Most times, co-authors will split chapters. A lot of people think that I wrote Delilah's sections and my mom wrote Edgar's or vice versa. But how we actually wrote was side by side, 8 hours a day. I know, with your mother. Speaking the entire book out loud. My mom would type because I'm slower and she would get really angry if I couldn't keep up. And we would, basically, I would say a line and my mom would counter with another and we'd just go back and forth like that. And whether it's genetics or we have some creepy thing going on because we spent too much time together, we'd have moments where we're actually tripping over each other to get a line out because we have this brilliant idea, and we'd realize we were saying the exact same thing, which is pretty unique because a lot of people, I don't know, if you think of group projects, you kind of roll your eyes and you're like, oh God, because everyone has a different opinion and completely different ideas when they work together. For us, we had the exact same vision, which made writing together pretty simple, pretty simple, but it could have been much more difficult, and so we were very lucky to have that sort of genetic bond.
Yeah, and I will also add that I feel it's important that you know that Sammy spent most of our writing process lying on the floor wrapped in a down comforter, which is how apparently she was the most creative, so yeah.